Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 20 of Video Games Ahoy. My name is Jonathan Radford, and today I'm joined by Daf Gape.
Hello.
And Daf Weeks.
Hi there.
How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, all good.
Feels so good.
Yeah. How's your week been?
Started a new job today. Went well.
Oh yeah, how's that going?
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. It's all very chill at the moment. Next week's gonna get messy, but we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. How do you feel to go back? Like, because I imagine you've got to be you've got to be there, haven't you?
Yeah, there were some weird rules. Like different sort of masks and Zoom meetings, even though we're all in the same building, but we all have to be in different rooms and have a Zoom meeting together. It's
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
yeah.
Okay.
It's the new normal got thrown around a lot.
That it's that and Strange Times. Those are the two.
Yeah,
That's just
unprecedented.
Although, yeah, do you know, I haven't heard much of Unprecedented. I think I'd like to hear more of that because I hear Strange Times so often. But that's good, man. That's great. You got some work. I'm going back to teaching next week. So yeah,
Nice.
it's good. It's good to get back to something.
I've got some news, and I didn't tell you before the podcast.
Oh, go for it.
At least our Twitch channel, and maybe our YouTube as well, is now affiliated with Green Man Gaming, which is
Nice.
a very
Nice.
big website. And so I'll be setting that up for our stream tonight, which is a Wednesday. And so any sales that we make through our link will get 5%.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Amazing.
That's great news. That's great. Yeah, we've that's really great news. I've been checking across all the social medias and all those things, and we track him pretty well. We've been pretty chuffed. I mean, we were just saying beforehand, this is episode 20, and we've said it before, but it just feels so crazy that we're here so quickly, and things have been going so well, and we've had a lot of support, which is great, which is exactly what we want. And using that, if you would like to support us, then you can head on over to our Patreon page, Video Games Ahoy, where we have lots of lovely things you can check out. We did the Video Games Ahoy Hall of Fame recently, which was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So check that out.
I already know what I'm bringing next month.
I've been thinking.
Oh, really?
I've had some thoughts. I've had some really, really good thoughts about who I could bring and what I could bring. So yeah, I'm looking for. I'm really excited to do the next one. It'll be really, really good fun. But to those who do contribute, we like I said last week, we've had someone new joining our patrons list. So thank you to everyone that contributes. We really, really do appreciate it, and we're growing all the time. We really, really appreciate everything you do for us. And if you'd like to support us, then go on over and check our Patreon page out. Like I said, we have loads of different tiers you can try: £1, £5, £10. You can pay whatever you want, and if you don't, I say this every time, if you don't want to or you can't, we really don't mind. We're just so grateful for you listening, so thank you so much. And as well as Patreon, you can find us on all of the usual websites, like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We're on pretty much all of them. We said Zach could sign us up for Instagram, but I don't think he's got around to doing it. And to be honest, there's not really much you could do with an Instagram.
Like, you want to be seeing this every day?
Especially when, like, all four of us are in different parts, like, I say different parts of the country, three of us. Actually, no, Zach's moved back up north, isn't he? So, yeah.
I'd happily take pictures of Zach with his shirt half undone every day.
Yes.
But I think you just follow him on Facebook, you'll find out.
Yeah, just follow his Instagram. He does that anyway. But yeah, so follow us on all those things. We're tracking well. Well, we want to keep tracking well. That's what we want. Should we get into some news, fellas?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, let's hit some news. So, I think one of the big things that's been spoken about a lot recently is the current situation with the next gen consoles. Specifically, so I'm going to talk about Xbox, but this also has implications for the PS5. Now, Xbox UK marketing lead has called for patience over the announcement of Xbox Series X launch timing and price plans. There's 60 days to go until we believe the next-gen consoles are going to launch, which is November. We've still not heard anything from Microsoft. We've not heard an exact concrete date, price, or price for the Series X. And we actually haven't heard anything about the Series S as well, which has been mentioned a couple of times on Twitter. There's been a couple of leaks with regards to that. So we haven't heard anything. It's the same thing with PlayStation 5 as well. We've not heard how much it's going to cost, when is the exact date that it's coming out. This is I believe the shortest time or the latest time I should say, that a company has left it before releasing a console, before announcing any price or the exact date. And the previous one was the PS4 Pro, which was 64 days before following its announcement that it came out. But that was the PS4 Pro. That wasn't even the original PlayStation 4. It does feel like, I know we've spoken about this before, it does feel like with everything that's happening with COVID-19, like, we completely understand that aspect of it. But there's a feeling I get that it does feel like Microsoft and Sony are kind of waiting for the other one to go first. I don't know if that's true. That could just be me. Like, I've seen things online and just gone, I don't understand. Why haven't they announced it? If it just kind of feels like if they're confident, they should just go, yeah, this is it. This is the amount. This is when the date is coming out. You're going to buy it from us anyway. It just feels, I don't know, it just feels maybe a bit tentative. How do you guys feel about that?
It could be just that it's complete chaos behind the scenes. And, they're, ducks paddling under the surface there going crazy like, God, we need to get this out quickly.
Yeah.
And at the front going, yeah, no, it's coming, guys. It's coming. Chill. Calm your beans.
Quack, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the thing is as well, it's a really good point because we talk a lot about Nintendo like really, really feeling it, but I mean, Nintendo aren't launching a console at the end of the year. Like, if the worst thing that happens to them is the software gets pushed into next year, that's not a big deal. But everything seems reliant with Sony and Microsoft on these consoles getting released, and we just don't know enough, really. I mean, like, if PlayStation was to turn around and say that one of the PlayStation 5 was £500, I don't know, that might change it for some people, or whether they do buy in November, whether they wait till next year, because if they had a bit more time to, I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking about some people who might have saved a bit more if they knew how much it was going to be. I don't know. Dav, what about you? Daf Gape, how do you feel?
Well, it's interesting. Although at least Xbox have said that it's coming in November.
Yes,
they have given us a month, and we expected them both to be in November anyway.
Yeah,
and you could argue they only said that to try and hush the news of the Halo Infinite indefinite delay.
Yeah.
And so, but it's information, and also Phil Spencer has said in an interview before that they can and will undercut Sony on price.
Yeah.
So what? It sounds like Microsoft have to wait for Sony, and Sony are really just trying to get Microsoft to have to budge.
Yeah.
Because the cheapest console usually wins.
Yep.
PS4 was cheapest. 360 was cheapest.
What is it? The original PlayStation. There was the whole thing where they just walked on stage, said the price that it was lower than everything else, and just walked off. Pretty much, it was like, and they won E3 because of that. Yeah, well, that's a really, really good point, man. Really, really good point.
So yeah, cheapest console usually wins. And it sounds like Sony are always very hush hush about this kind of thing, but it sounds like Xbox might have more consoles available at launch than Sony. Yeah. So I know Sony recently upped their production, probably to be more on par with what Xbox sounds like they're going to be shipping. So it'll be interesting, because if you can say that you sold the most just because you had the most available, because they're both going to sell out. They're both going to sell out because of early adopters and whatever. And interestingly, I heard a quote the other day that was like, if you buy a console at launch, you're buying it at its most expensive, with its worst UI and its worst games.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
So that argument, the sensible person would hold off, but I'm not a sensible person. I want to get one, and I want to know how much it's going to cost. So I either need Xbox to be like, yo, screw Sony, here's a really cheap price, or Sony to go on then Xbox, make it lower than this insanely low price.
Yeah.
And lose a ton of money. I just want one of them to just come out and just,
It is mad though, isn't it? Like I said, it's September now, and we still don't know how much it's going to cost. It does feel really, really bizarre that we still don't know how much it's going to cost. For as much as we know, it could be £300, it could be £600. We really don't know where it's going to be across that. I know it won't be £300, but do you know what I mean? It's like if Sony came out and said, yeah, this is £400, and Microsoft said, you know what, 300, just to undercut them. It's like It is mad, and something you made a good point, but just very quickly, you made a really good point as well about the amount of units they've got in production, because if Sony are struggling with that, and Microsoft do have more, we've said this previously, there's a lot of people in the middle ground who buy consoles based on what their friends have. So if there's a load of like Xboxes available, and friends are going, yeah, okay, maybe I'll get a PS4 further down the line, but I'll start off with an Xbox. Things like that could happen. But yeah, what were you going to say, Dave?
I was just going to say that is well put, and I just want to say another thing is that I saw as well, someone had just bought themselves a replacement Xbox controller, and inside was a sheet for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Trial.
Yes.
Have you seen this?
Yes, yeah.
Underneath it says, this Game Pass Ultimate Trial will work for Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Xbox whatever. So, they are very much out in the open about this Xbox Series S, because they have to assume someone was going to buy a controller right now.
Yeah.
So I guess that that could have been in plans for when they were planning to announce it earlier, maybe at E3, which obviously didn't happen. I think that's another reason why we've had to wait so long to hear prices and dates.
Yeah.
I think E3 they would have blown their load, but it wasn't an E3.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. I'm predicting end of November.
Yeah.
I think by Xbox saying November as well, it stops PlayStation from leaking into December.
Yeah.
Forces them to maybe come a bit earlier, because I also think that Xbox are going to wait for when PS5 announce when theirs is coming out and do it the week before. I'm not. That's a really good point. I kind of just feel that Xbox they've said November, and I feel like they might just go the first week of November anyway, because they've already said November. I feel like they've got to get it in before Black Friday, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a feeling that Xbox might just go, you know what, we know to beat Sony and PlayStation, if we just go, we've said November, let's just go the first week. I don't know. It could just mean that they get the jump on Sony and PlayStation and just, I don't know. It feels like we are getting maybe not loads more information, but we are definitely getting more information from Microsoft and Xbox. So,
but
we'll see.
they are behind, so they've got to.
Yeah,
they've got to. Step their foot on the gas and really try and catch up in this market.
Putting it out there, right? Okay.
Yeah.
How's this for a marketing plan? Shadow drop the console.
It didn't work for Sega.
Oh yeah.
But then the opponent doesn't know what they're doing. Element of surprise.
Shadow drop, $3.99. Go and get it.
Oh, could you imagine that? Could you imagine if they shadow dropped it? Like especially if, like, say for instance, PlayStation came out and said it's coming out the 14th of November, and then Xbox just shadow dropped it on the 13th and just said, right, it's out. People would go crazy. But I don't know. We'll obviously this is something we will keep an eye on, because we all want to know how much it's going to cost and when it's coming out. But it's just really interesting that it's taken this long. But yeah, let's move on. So we've got a little bit of Nintendo news, and this covers a load of different. Well, this covers everything when it comes to Nintendo. So there's 3 bits of news I got in, specifically with Nintendo. The first thing is, and rightfully, Nintendo, it just seems weird that Nintendo didn't do this in the first place, but Nintendo has added the ability to cancel digital game pre-orders in the Nintendo eShop for the first time. So that actually wasn't there. That wasn't a thing. If you bought something from the eShop, you just had it. You couldn't get a refund.
I don't know if you can do that on Xbox and Sony.
I think you can, because I think I remember reading earlier you can, because I've had a digital refund from PlayStation before.
But you had to go through the things.
That's true. Yeah, I did.
Whereas Nintendo is saying they can just do it on the eShop.
Yeah, they can do it on the eShop, and you can do it on the Nintendo website as well.
I think that might be the first of the 3.
It's great though. I mean, it's
great.
Absolutely fantastic.
Everywhere should do that.
So what they've said is it says from today, but this news came up recently, not today. Users will be able to cancel pre-orders made on the Nintendo Switch's digital store up to 7 days prior to the pre-purchased game's release date. So I mean, I think that's reasonable. You're given a week until it comes out. I think that's fair to say. If you've pre-ordered like 3 months ago and you go a week before, you go, nah, I don't want it anymore, then that's fair enough.
Yeah, because what if a trailer comes out and you go, oh, this isn't the game I thought it was going to be?
Yeah, exactly.
And like, absolutely, if they announce, I mean, they're quite good at not putting games onto the eShop until they've got more like decent marketing materials. But let's say, for instance, they put Metroid Prime 4 for pre-order. Yep. We don't know anything about that game. So if you go, oh, I love Metroid Prime, and you get it, and it's like completely not what you wanted.
Well, no one was it. Other M that everyone hated. Was that everyone hated Other M? So like,
I think they only hated it once they played it. To be fair.
Yeah, But do you know what I mean?
It's too late.
But
We got your money.
Exactly. They've got your money, so that's another thing. So another thing, I'm going to move on really quickly with the Nintendo news. This week, and I said this to Daf Gape the other day, but this week marks 1 year since the last general Nintendo Direct presentation, which was on September 4th, 2019. It is the longest stretch by far the platform holder has gone without a full Nintendo Direct broadcast since the initiative started in 2011. Again, we've spoken a lot about this previous, about how Nintendo does seem to be really, really struggling with bringing games out on software and announcing things. We've heard so many rumors about the Mario collection that we'll come on to in a little bit, because not specific to those games, but things are getting leaked outside of the games that, like I said, we'll come on to. But it does seem crazy. 1 whole year since the last Direct, and no, because normally they would do one in March anyway, like a full Direct in March.
Yeah.
I don't know. It does seem pretty weird, but at the same time, with everything else that's going on, I think we've just got to accept it. Really, I don't know if there'll be a full Direct for the rest of the year. I think Nintendo, every Nintendo game that has been released that wasn't previously announced has been shadow dropped, or like shadow dropped for an announcement has been shadow dropped for a future release. So I think that's probably how they'll go. I've got a feeling that's what they'll do with the 3D collection, and any other games that are coming up by Nintendo. We've still got Bravely Default 2, which is, I guess, still an exclusive. We don't know if it's coming out this year. So who knows? But yeah, 1 whole year since the last full Direct, which is a long time. It's a long time.
They're fun to watch, man.
They are so much fun, and I think that is the sad thing as well, because we've spoken so much about like the one thing we all want to watch together is a Nintendo Direct, because they always do that one more thing. And like the one time where we've all been on watching a stream together, it was the Pokemon Direct, which was equally hilarious and ridiculous, and it was but it was still so much fun. So I guess from a selfish point of view, we just want to see one because we know it'll be a lot of fun, but
yeah.
At the same time, they can't push something if they got nothing to push. So
no,
let it cook, baby.
Yeah. So moving on even further, I should say, from Nintendo, and tying back in with the 35th anniversary, Mario and what have you. Reported by Press Start, a pair of Super Mario sneakers, or trainers as we know it, by okay, I never know how to say. Is it Puma? I don't know.
Puma.
I think it is Puma.
I think
but
it is
I'll
Puma.
never say that.
I know. Well, I think it's the accent. The accent won't allow me to say Puma because it sounds like poo. Anyway,
I think Pumba.
Pumbaa. Okay, let's go Pumbaa.
Puma.
I think Arnie just Puma.
Puma.
It's not a Puma.
It's not. Yes. Oh yeah, that was great. But yeah. So Super Mario sneakers have appeared on Foot Locker's website, and then they were promptly taken down, which usually tells me that someone's
This is happening a lot. Come
especially
on, what's
with Mario.
going on?
It's happened so many times with Mario stuff as well.
Surely it's intentional.
Who knows, man? But like, it does feel like people are just, or maybe it was a holding date that was things were supposed to have been announced by now, and Nintendo have gone, it's not being released, and someone's forgot to change the date. That could have been it. There could have just been a tweet that was, there's so many tweets that get scheduled. It could have just been that. I don't know exactly what has happened, but it was, and it just makes me laugh again because it's like the 3D collection just seems to be it's like Schrodinger's game. It's like it's both real and not real, and we'll never know until Nintendo just finally tell us it's real. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Star Fox GP. Where's that?
Oh, don't. I mean, Star Fox 2 was there as well for a long, long time until very, very recently. But yeah, maybe we'll find out some more from Nintendo. But that's it with the Nintendo news for now, at least. So moving on to PlayStation 5 and Ubisoft. So again, this is something that was announced and then quickly removed once they realized what they'd done. Ubisoft's support page accidentally announced that PS5 will not have PS1, PS2, and PS3 backwards compatibility. This information was then promptly removed when discovered. Now, I've read so many people who know so much about like the ins and outs and the technology involved with the PlayStations who have all said it is so easy for them to do backwards compatibility for those old games. So them not doing it is either lazy or intentional. And I don't know. With the fact that Xbox and Microsoft have gone so far to allow backwards compatibility, it just seems like, come on, PlayStation. We know they can be like this sometimes. The whole thing, the issues they had with the PlayStation 3 is because they were convinced they'd won from the start. So like they just started being lazy, and as soon as PlayStation get lazy, they make these decisions that really, really go against their consumers.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like Xbox did at the beginning of the Xbox One.
exactly.
But they made changes. They ditched Don Matrick left, and they ditched the other guy. They put Phil Spencer at the head, who, funnily enough, was the guy who announced the price of the Xbox One. I was watching clips of E3 2013, and he was like on the stage, like announcing what the price was, and he fumbled through it. How far he's come, but yeah. Whereas like Sony are just like, it seems like their big people leave before they're pushed. But I don't know how long that Sony swag is going to last.
Well, I mean, like we said, I mean, PlayStation 3 was, I mean, it was. I know it wasn't a failure because obviously it sold 80 million consoles, but the fact, I mean, the original Xbox was so far behind the PlayStation 2 by like 100 million units behind the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
The fact that they pretty much stole half of their user base for the Xbox 360. I mean, it does mean that people are more fluid when it comes to games and consoles than I think people believe they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, for instance, that 3 of us in this group usually buy PlayStation, but I bought an Xbox 360. I didn't buy a PlayStation 3. I bought the one that I thought that was going to be best for me. So it just seems weird with PlayStation. I just want more information. That's all we want, and less moves like this. Just backwards compatibility is relatively easy from what I've been told and from what I've read. So I don't know why they just don't do it. Anyway, let's move on. You go.
One thing to anyone who is saying, "Oh, but the PS3 had cell architecture, making it difficult for backwards compatibility." Well, the way Xbox do it is they have an emulator for 360 games, and you do it through that. So there is absolutely an answer, and there is no excuse not to do it other than we don't need to because we've already got your money.
Yeah, exactly.
So pull your finger out your ass, Sony, please.
So continuing again with Ubisoft, they're going to hold their second Ubisoft Forward Games Showcase on Thursday, September the 10th. This showcase will feature Immortals Phoenix Rising, the game formerly known as Gods and Monsters, by the way. I'm not sure I like that. I actually preferred Gods and Monsters, I gotta be honest. That's me personally. But they were showing Watch Dogs Legion, Hyperscape, and Rainbow Six Siege updates. The only one, like I said, I'm interested in really out of that collection is Gods and Monsters, or what it is titled now, Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Immortals,
Phoenix
Rising.
Phoenix Rising, yeah.
Okay.
It's a bit... Yeah, I mean...
Well, it's like they tried to go more profound and less Plants vs. Zombies.
Gods and Monsters sounds just... It's so like, okay, that's what it is. It sounds like a game, but Immortals Phoenix Rising, I don't know, it just...
I think every Ubisoft game just needs a big colon in the middle.
Ubisoft are a big colon in the middle.
Oh my god. Did you see... I don't know if this is part of the news, Johnny, but did you see the thing about the Elite Squad trailer?
No.
Oh my god. So they're like mobile.
Oh, I did see it.
Yeah.
But continue. Yeah, I did
horrendous.
see it. I forgot about that. You tell
it's not.
people.
Sorry, it's not. I don't even think it's a trailer. I think it's the opening cinematic of the game. Right?
It is.
And, Elite Squad is this kind of like, they announced it in the last Ubisoft Forward, or at least showed a trailer for it. Basically, you are a mix of secret operatives and criminals taking down an underhand organization who are taking control of mass and civil unrest, and all of the iconography of it looks like Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
It looks like they've gone, oh guys, Black Lives Matter is actually a secret organization made to try and destroy America. So quick, hire some criminals to take them down.
Ooh.
Are you joking?
Yeah,
Ooh, okay.
They've backtracked a lot with that, haven't they? They actually apologized.
Yeah,
they had to
they've taken
apologize
it down.
because people were just like, "Really? That is? I mean, that's
so tone deaf."
So tone deaf. It was because when I saw that, because I think you posted about it on Twitter, and that's how I saw it. And I was just like, "What? Why? Like, of all the things to do currently, why would you do that? It just seems mad." But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like with Ubisoft in general, sometimes they do things like that are really, like you say, just really, they don't listen or they don't really pay attention. They make mistakes, like maybe not like that all the time, but they just seem to drop the ball so often. But yeah, Like I said, going back to the Ubisoft Forward Game Showcase, that is on Thursday, September the 10th. So check
and
it out.
look forward to them not apologizing yet again.
So let's quickly move on because we're coming to the end of the news. We've got 2 more pieces left, just quickly to talk about. So AT&T has removed its Warner Brothers video game business from the list of non-core assets up for sale, deciding it was too valuable to unload during its effort to pay down debt and streamline. Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, the gaming unit that is home to titles like Harry Potter, Batman, and Mortal Kombat, had attracted interest from several major companies and could have reaped $4 billion as reported by CNBC in June, but was seen as having too much growth potential to sell. I mean, so we've just got 2 new Batman games, and like the internet almost exploded with the new Batman games. So it does seem like a wise decision to make.
Well, why did they put it up for the first place then?
It seems weird that they put it up in the first place.
Like, what's the difference between now and then? That they released 2 games that they already knew were coming, and they're both Batman games. So they don't actually have Batman playable. But, like, you must have been able to project that people were going to enjoy the trailers for these games, and they're made by like 2 solid studios. Why were you selling it in the first place? Just to like see if you could get a stupid price for it?
Yeah.
Probably.
And then you didn't, and then...
That could be... I mean, the thing is that they put it up during the real peak of COVID-19, didn't they? When it was like people were still in lockdown, so maybe they just thought they could try and get a quick sale. But then that still doesn't seem like a good idea. Why are you trying to sell it during the middle of a global pandemic when people are not going to
get the best price for it
there,
are you?
Exactly. It just seems like crazy that they do that. So I don't know. Maybe who knows? Maybe it could be seen that like in a year's time they'll try and sell it again when things calm down a little bit more. But it just seems mad that they would try and sell it in the first place, considering that it has so many iconic games, especially the Batman and Mortal Kombat series. Like 2 of the, I mean, Mortal Kombat is one of the most iconic games of all time, but Batman is one of the most beloved modern series of games.
Yeah, and the Middle-earth games as well. Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. Shadow of Mordor, for me, was
great games.
One of the only 2 games that really made me feel like we'd gone to a new generation.
Really?
That and Alien Isolation were the 2 games where I was like,
nice.
this can't be done on a 360. Or like, this is just like a new way of thinking about video games.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
I can only think, because they had so much debt, right, AT&T, I can only think they had to put everything up for sale, and then while it was up for sale, they were able to like negotiate and be like, no, but like, we need to keep that one, so yeah, you might get $4 billion now, but because it's going to grow so much, we'll actually be able to pay the debt quicker by keeping it. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. But...
Yeah, it just seems really weird that they've done it and now they've just gone, no, we're not selling anymore. And it's like, what? The only thing that's changed, like you said, Dav, is the 2 games that have been announced, and they would have known about those games ages ago anyway. Internally, they would have known about those games. So it to me as well, it just sounds like there's people in charge who don't know anything about as is usually the case, who know nothing about video games and have no idea.
My fault.
Like the Batman games in particular are so. Again, I know, like you said, they're not Batman games in the traditional sense because you don't play as Batman. But like this,
Dav, I thought you said it was my fault. I was like, no. Why, Dav? What did you do?
I did it. Sorry, guys.
I own AT&T. I'm an old.
Daf Weeks would like to apologize to all of our listeners right now, especially the Batman fans. But you're okay. You're okay, Daf. Not selling anymore. You're not selling anymore.
No. I withdrew that.
So the last bit of news. We've said before previously there's been loads of TV shows being made about video games. There's going to be a TV show made about Resident Evil. So following months of development and extensive search for a showrunner, Netflix has ordered 8 episodes of Resident Evil TV series. Supernatural co-show runner Andrew Dabb will oversee the series for Netflix. It will tell its new story across 2 timelines. In the first, it will focus on 14-year-old sisters Jade and Billy Wesker in New Raccoon City, whilst the second is set more than a decade. Yeah, the second is set more than a decade into the future, with the T-virus leaving only 15 million people left on Earth, and everyone else got the virus. So it does. So specifically because it's Netflix, it does seem like they've tested the waters a little bit with The Witcher. The Witcher was a really big success for them. It was like in their top 10 shows for a long time. I really enjoyed The Witcher. I mean, I love the game. Witcher 3 specifically, I should say, is the only one I've played. I love that game. But I really enjoyed the TV show. I thought I thought Henry Cavill was really good as Geralt, actually. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be okay. Netflix has all that dollar, so who knows? You're expect. I mean, I'm expecting them to try and make the next Walking Dead, essentially, really, aren't they?
Resident
be
Evil
fun.
hasn't been good before. No Resident Evil film is actually good.
I've just
No, they're not good. However, I've watched my fair share. Say that. Make that of that what you will. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is a night for
They
Resident
are
Evil.
burgers
Yeah.
of movies. They really are greasy spoon burgers of movies.
Well, it's interesting as well because The Last of Us are bringing out their own TV show as well. And it just seems weird that like we're gonna have these. I mean, I know they're very different stories to tell, and they'll be. I mean, specifically, Resident Evil is a bit more based in horror than The Last of Us, which is, I guess, more the human interactions. But it just seems weird we're gonna have two TV shows about zombies at the same time that are based on video games, highly successful video games as well. But yeah, that is the end of the news. Do you guys have anything else to add with any newsworthy stuff?
No. I come here for my news, so
This is it. This is where you come for your news.
I don't look up the news.
Yeah.
I know Johnny's looking at the news.
It's your job, mate.
Yeah.
I come here for my news, so yeah, I intentionally do not look out for news.
Like, it's fine. I'll learn everything from here.
The freshest takes from Daf Weeks.
Yeah, I need some paper now. I need to spin on my chair, just be like Johnny News, and just like I'll start like styling my hair as well.
Please.
But yeah. But yeah, guys, let's move on to that very, very fabled part of the show. What have you been playing? Does anyone want to go first?
Yes.
Go.
Go on, then.
I spent 5.5 hours yesterday streaming the last 5.5 hours of a game.
Yes,
Game I've been playing every Tuesday for a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening
Yeah.
on the Switch.
Yay.
How is it? How did you find it?
Oh my god! Despite its flaws, I really loved it. It's just it was beautiful.
It is
and there was
gorgeous,
just-
isn't it? To look at,
yeah,
it's so beautiful.
There was just something about it being so beautiful, and like the animation styles, and just only being able to move in 8 directions. It was still just felt like really charming and beautiful, and some of the puzzles were brilliant. Some of the puzzles were insane.
Yep.
Just like outright insane. Like the larger stuff, like, okay, here's a spoiler, but you deserve to hear this. If you're ever going to play this game, you need to know this. I finished all the dungeons. I even did an optional dungeon. And then I went up to the windfish egg, right, to go and do the thing at the end of the game. That I won't spoil. And you go in, and it's like, oh, here we go. Here's a dungeon. Cheeky one. I went, okay, fine. Went through the next bit. I was like, okay, fine, just next room. And there's no map for this dungeon, which I thought was curious. And you get to a room with 4 entrances / exits. And you go, well, I don't know which way to go, but maybe it's like the forest in Ocarina of Time, where you can get an indication. Maybe it's a noise coming from one of the entrances, or something, or maybe like you can see the wind or something. So I'm going around for ages, and I'm like, what's going on? So I try and go down. I was like, oh, okay, I'm exiting the dungeon right now. Great. Turns out, the only way to know which way to go is to go to the library in the first village you start in, and in the bottom right, there's a weird black book that tells you the exact directions you need to go, and it's different for everyone. So you can't even look it up.
Yeah.
It is a different combination of directions for everyone. Mine was left, up, right, up, up. Which I learned because then after you do that, you have to fight 6 bosses in a row.
Yeah, you do.
Of varying difficulty. But yeah, that really frustrated me because the first boss as well, you needed magic powder, and that's a limited resource. Eventually you can find someone who you can buy it from, but if you don't go in with enough to defeat that boss, then you just have to wait for him to kill you so you can leave this place and buy some more. There's no way out once you're in that room. And because I did an optional thing and got like double defense, it took me ages to die. However, these negatives and other negatives I will not mention out of the way. The combat was slick. I loved the little face he has when he like finds something good. I hate and love the claw minigame.
Oh yeah.
Where you have to like get all the different statues.
Yeah.
You unlock like a new statue to collect from every dungeon, and then one of them was like a piranha plant, and I'm like, dude, it was like impossible to get. It took so long. and then you have to like find the different houses where to put the right ones and stuff. That was pretty cool.
That was good.
Yeah, and there were some cool mini games in there, and there were some really cool dungeon ideas. One of them was like, I'm just gonna say the tower.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was long.
Yeah.
Because
I think that was my least favorite dungeon as well.
Yeah, I really like the idea of it, but it was long.
It was
like you would have to be like, right, if I drop down there, where do I end up landing? Right, okay. Now I'm here. Which way do I go for that? It's just a lot of up and downs and all the rest of it, but nowhere near as bad as the water temple in Ocarina of Time.
I mean, does anything beat the water temple in Ocarina of Time? Especially as a man who's played it recently as well.
Yeah. Yeah, all of the 10 dungeons in Link's Awakening were better than at least half of the Ocarina of Time dungeons, maybe all of them. And that's why Link's Awakening is now my second favorite Zelda game of all time.
Oh, really? It's been bumped up.
Yeah, suck it, Breath of the Wild.
Is that number 3 now?
That's number 3 now.
Number 3.
Wow. And Ocarina number 4. I just loved it. It was so good.
There's a few things I was gonna say. So because I totally agree with everything you've said. Like there's like it's both the good and bad of that game. It has all the charm of the original game,
and then
with the added charm, with the added beauty, like the beauty of like the music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just like do 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 do. Oh man, I was there, and it changes instrument every time it goes around, and like it's so good. And Telltale Heights was amazing. Like
really cool,
I imagine what they've made is again, like I said, the best and worst of that game, and that I imagine it's what was in Miyamoto's brain in 1991 or 92, whenever it came out originally. That's what he wanted it to look and sound like, but obviously it couldn't. So I imagine they've just done it now. That's what it looks and sound like. But you're totally right, though. There are some things in that game that really needed to be changed, like some of the puzzles. I'll be honest. I had to look up some of the answers to some of the puzzles. Like I don't have
midstream. I'm like,
I don't have the time. Like I just don't have the time to like spend hours on one puzzle.
Especially like yesterday when I was like trying to finish it, and I thought I had two dungeons, and then I would just do a little cutscene at the end. It's like, no, 2 dungeons, then do this thing, and then you get to do this thing. Oh wait, but you can't do that thing until you finish doing this thing. So you've got to go and do this thing, and then you can come back and do that thing. So I did that thing, and then I got there, and there was another thing, and I was like, oh my god! And I'd like told some like people, I was like, oh hey guys, by the way, totally finishing this game very soon. Come hop by, say hi. And I was like, nope, got another hour and a half left. See you later.
Yeah, you're totally right. My experience of it was very, very similar, and that is a beautiful game. I loved it, and I'm really looking forward to playing it. And I imagine it'll be even more fun. Now I don't have an idea of what the dungeons are like, but my first playthrough was 2 years ago. Or did it come out 2 years ago? Oh no, it was last year. Last year. Yeah, last year. I think it was last September. And there was just there was so many moments. I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, anything else to add? Anything else to add for Link's Awakening? Give it your final Dav recommendation. Dav.
My final Dav's recommendation is use a guide, and you'll have one of the best times of playing one of the best ever remakes.
Yeah. That's a good chat. I like that. That's really good. Awesome, Dav. I could spend this entire podcast talking to you about that game, but it's probably Dav Weeks. Come back in about 2 hours. We might have finished.
I must say, I can't wait to play it. I've got a copy. I'm waiting to finish some other games first, so I can give it its full attention.
Yeah, I think you'll love it. It's just
I can't wait.
It's got charm coming out of its butt. Just so much charm. But yeah, awesome. Thanks, Dav. I loved hearing about that. That's great. Dav Weeks, have you been playing anything?
2 little things to talk about. One I've kind of played a little bit of, just very casually, is the newest Professor Layton game on the Switch.
Oh, right.
Oh, the one with the daughter.
Yeah, Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy. I have had to look that up for the full title. For me, it's the one with Layton's daughter.
What are those games like? I've never played them. Are they good?
I love Professor Layton games. They're so, like, if you love puzzles, great. That's all there is, and it's got a really charming story to go with it, and
And
the
like
animation
Studio
is
Ghibli level animations
Yeah.
in between as well.
The cutscenes are really well animated.
Yeah, it's my favorite
Honestly,
series
so-
on DS.
Oh,
Original
really?
DS.
They're,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
great fun. I mean, I see this a lot with the games that I tend to bring. They're not for everyone, but maybe that's why I like them, because they are quite, idiosyncratic, and if you like puzzles, you're gonna love it. But at the same time, it's all a bit twee. It's all a little bit cutesy
Yeah.
sometimes, and especially this one.
Ah, okay.
This
Right,
one
okay.
feels really overly cutesy. There's a talking dog. There's no reason why this dog is talking, but there is a talking dog.
It's just talking.
Literally, first cutscene, I was like, "Have we introduced to a talking dog?" It's like, why is that dog talking? I don't know, but I don't know. Catriel seems fine with it.
One of my issues with the Layton series actually is the first two games have that kind of Sherlock Holmesian logic of this might seem mysterious and supernatural, but there is a real scientific thing which is like meant for this all to happen. And in the third one, they just go full sideways, and you're like, wait, until now, I'd been trying to work out what the mystery was using logic. Now you're telling me that I'm wrong, and now you're telling me there are talking dogs.
Yeah, I prefer the earlier concept, needless to say. Also, they're quite interesting mysteries, and the story's really novel and kind of weird. This one, literally the first mission we've been asked to solve is apparently somebody nicked one of the hands off Big Ben.
Oh.
And it's like, okay, that's cool, but
the big hand or the little hand?
I think it was the little hand. I can't remember.
Okay, easier.
It's still a pretty big hand, though.
Oh yeah, right, big hand. Oh, I got big hands. Big hands.
Yeah, but
Big Ben with big hands.
basically, because the concept is she's opened up an investigation agency, it's much more episodic, so they're smaller little mysteries.
This on phone?
No, this is on the Switch. It was on the 3DS as well.
How many of these games are on this? First of all, how many games are on the Switch do you know of? And is this a rosy recommendation? Is what I'm trying to get at.
Okay, yeah, it's a rosy recommendation.
Okay, it is a rosy
I think it's the only one.
Because Dav doesn't like it.
No, I like it. That's the thing. I've been playing it, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But I play it for the puzzles more than the story. I'll be honest.
Sure. Whereas before, I found joy in both sides of it. I loved those animations, the cutscenes were such a reward for finishing a certain amount of puzzles.
Yeah. They
And
really were.
furthering the story and just the interactions and the voice acting as well was so enjoyable.
Yeah.
Which is so
absolutely.
Jonny, you talk about charm.
Yeah.
Charm out of its bloody butt, as you say.
Charm goes a long way in this game, honestly.
Yeah, and who doesn't love games with loads of just oozing charm?
Butt charm.
Butt charm.
Butt charm.
Yeah. It has a butt charm ratio of a lot. There's a lot of butt charm.
Ratio, yeah.
Just very quickly, with regards to the gameplay, is the gameplay like Broken Sword, or is it more like it's just not? So I mean, is it more like you walk around and grab things, or is it like how would you describe the gameplay?
So that was one thing that's slightly different on the Switch, actually. So basically, the concept is because it was on the DS initially, you've got a map, and then you tap on the location you want to go to, and it'll open up essentially a picture of that space, and then you have to tap around the screen looking for clues, and tap the characters you want to talk to, and tap the items you want to investigate, and then that would cue a puzzle or a cutscene or a new bit of interaction. On the Switch, it's still that, but because of the fact that you're now on a Switch, you can look around the space a bit more, you can pan up to the top of the buildings. It's given it kind of a bit of a false perspective, so when you look one way, the perspective shifts it so it looks a bit more 3D.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. This is a nice effect, but the movement is still essentially the same thing. Yeah, it's nice, it's easy to navigate, and it's fun just to tap things to see if a little coin pops out. And go, oh, yay!
Because it sounds like something that maybe Rosie would enjoy. So I might have a look at it just to see if it's something she would like. But
if they release the original DS trilogy on Switch, buy it in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Oh, they're great. Yeah.
Okay.
The original I loved. Like.
Oh,
including
Curious
the story.
Village.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a
Curious
10 out
Village.
of 10. That is a 10 out of 10 game.
Really?
Yeah,
Mm.
love it.
But
So
awesome.
that's the one little game. But the game I was much more excited with isn't even the game; it's just the demo, and that is Tony Hawk.
Yes, that demo is so good. It's so like vibes, man. Oh.
There's no objective in it. There's
Nope.
there's no character selection. It's just right. You're going to be Tony. Here's the warehouse. Go around for a minute. That's all
So
it
here
is.
I am,
It's
doing
Supervisor.
it all the time. So good.
All the time. Yeah, absolutely.
When I'm a Superman.
Best song on that album
Don't know
as
what
well.
it's-
I mean,
Oh,
all the music is there in the trailer as well, which is like the highlight.
that's
The
awesome.
demo, yeah.
So yeah, that's it. It's just such a annoying little taster of the game. There's like, and you rack up the points, but you don't get any goals for it in this demo. It's just nostalgic to buggery, honestly.
But
it's so good because I remember exactly what all of the objectives were for the warehouse. So when I was streaming the demo a couple of weeks ago when they first released it, and I was like, right, let's go get the secret tape. Okay, let's go smash all the barrels. Okay, I can smash the barrels, but it doesn't tell me I'm smashing them. Okay, let's do that gap. Let's grind that.
The
Let's
SK-ATE, you know where
let's
all
do
them
the
are.
Oh yeah, you got to go back up and then up that
Yeah.
ramp. But I think that feels different. That top area, it feels a bit different to me.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
maybe I'm
Maybe it
wrong.
looks-
But
maybe it just looks different.
but old man Tony Hawk as well.
Old man Tony Hawk.
do you know what?
I managed to pull a 900. I was well chuffed.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. I will say one thing. I don't know if they realize how big of a smash hit this is going to be. Like,
I think they know exactly how big
but like,
it's going to be.
I think it's probably going to be bigger than they expect because so many people I talk to just as soon as you mention that game, they just go either obviously childhood, but if you tell them it's coming out again, they just go, "Well, I'll buy that," because it was just. But it's not. It's just so fun. Like it was so fun to play, and like you say earlier with the music was one of the best soundtracks for any video game, just because every song was an absolute banger.
Yeah, and I don't listen to ska or much rock really in real life, but like Tony Hawk's, I'm like, so here I am, just like every
Well, here's
song.
the thing, like I'm a massive ska fan, and to have Goldfinger on the soundtrack and have everybody I know that song, it's like, wow, I'm now cool.
I think I said to you before, like, but that song. So me and my friend Jamie, back when I was like 10, or whenever because it was in was it 2 or 1? I can't, because they were both around the same time. I can't remember which one it was. That song, we would play the game until that song came on, and until we wouldn't stop playing it until that song had. We wouldn't stop playing it until that song had played, and every single time we just like, yes, best song. Now we can turn it off. And that was it. Like half the time, it's like it wasn't even about completing the objectives. It was just like just play randomly, do all these tricks until that song plays. Because obviously back then as well, we wouldn't have had access to it like YouTube and stuff like you have now. So it's that game is iconic, and I am very excited to buy it. It's out soon, isn't it?
Friday.
It's Friday.
No,
That song is not
already be
iconic.
out. It'll already be
That
out
song
by the time you hear
is
the
in the
podcast.
game.
That's true, Dave. And I'm so excited because obviously you could only get the demo if you pre-order the game.
Yeah.
So I have pre-ordered.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it as soon as they announced it. It's the
And
first time I
I
paid
am-
full price for a game in over a year.
There we
Oh,
go.
wow, there we
And
go.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited. I'm busy all weekend doing lovely things, nonetheless. But come Sunday night, I think I'm just gonna kick back, start streaming, and just go smash my way through both games in one session. I'm
That's
so
right.
ready.
Okay,
That sounds
I challenge you, Dav. I want to know what your high score on the warehouse is going to be by the end of Sunday night, and I'll try and beat it.
Oh, this could
Okay.
be a weekly thing. This has got to be a weekly thing. So every week,
Absolutely.
Dav versus Dav off.
Yeah.
We'll see which one can get the highest score.
Got
every
until
week.
midnight on Sunday to get your best high score on
Oh,
warehouse.
no, you have until
Until the podcast.
until until the podcast records. So you can even you can be playing it 5 minutes up until the podcast is recorded. You can get that high score. So you've got from now until next next Wednesday, whenever we record it during that day.
Right,
Dav,
and I
I'll
need
give
a
you a little-
picture. I need a picture of
I'll
the
give-
screen.
I'll give you a hint. When I streamed it, after 45 minutes, I'd hit a high score of 500,000.
You're probably going to win this. I'm not putting money on that. But I will still try.
Oh god, that's amazing.
The key is manuals.
Indeed.
It is.
And
It is. It
reboots.
really is. Oh my god. But yeah, awesome, Dav. Thank you so much for bringing that. I'm really excited to get the Dav versus Dav points off. We'll get that going every week. So I'm just gonna briefly talk about a game that I've been playing. I don't want to talk about it too long, just because I haven't finished it yet. I said to Daf Gape last week that I started playing. I actually completed Super Mario Bros. So I didn't want to play 2 and 3 because they were on the NES as well. I was like, okay, I'm going to try the SNES. I'm going to see how different it is. So I played Super Mario World. And that game is so good. There's really nothing else to say other than like it still holds up now. When I played it, I was like, I couldn't stop playing it. Like normally when it comes, I've said this before, and I say this all the time. When it comes to platformers, sometimes I do not necessarily get bored, but sometimes like, okay, I've done 2 levels, I can stop now. But I just didn't want to stop, and I got through to like I think it was like the Castle 6 or World 6, whichever one it is. It's the one in the forest, and then I got round once, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave it for now because I don't know how I'm doing this. But up until that point, I was loving it, and I think. It's so weird, and I mentioned before about Donkey Kong, just how different it is to Donkey Kong, because Donkey Kong's levels are like so much bigger, obviously so much more difficult anyway, but like the levels are longer, whereas with Mario, it's like you have more shorter levels, but just it's so like they just mix it up so every now and then they'll just mix it up and like every like penultimate level will be like the Haunted Mansion or whatever it is, but I don't know, it's so much fun to play, and I'm really enjoying it. And obviously I still haven't finished it yet, and it's been a long time since I actually played that game, but when I finish it, I'll give like my final thoughts on it. But the only thing I had to think of really was that it seems so mad to me that as good as that game is, and as it is so good, the thing that could not stop going around my head was 5 years after that game was released, Super Mario 64 was released, and I think going back to that time period, playing that, and then going from that to Super Mario 64, I remember Super Mario 64 blowing my mind, and I know this is not a game that I was talking about originally, but like I can imagine playing that and thinking, wow, this is amazing, look at the graphics, it's so good, and then going to Super Mario 64 and going, oh my god,
what just happened?
Like
5 years? Is that all it was?
It was at 5 or 6 years, I think, because I think it came out in either 91 or 92, and Super Mario 64 came out in 96, I believe. It came out with the launch of the 64, so it was 5 years, and I think it was Nintendo's first real go at 3D games where you can explore and stuff. So the first 3D sandbox. I'm not going to talk about Super Mario 64. I can talk about that game all day, but yeah, I'm really enjoying Super Mario World. I know Zach right now is I know he's not here, but he's definitely loving it because I mentioned to him the other day that I was playing it. But yeah, I'll let you know what I think of it when it comes to finishing it, which I imagine I will by the time we get to the podcast next week. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Shall we move on to the part of the show that everyone adores? It's the end of the show. No,
it's goodbye.
It's bye. It's
Ahoy!
We're gonna do the quiz.
Quiz.
Yeah, quiz. So this is the quiz for the day. There'll be 15 questions as per usual. We've got a new system going now where I'm going to get the guys to type their answers into their screens. You won't see them. It's fine. And if you're listening to this, you definitely won't see them. But then what's going to happen is I'm going to ask them both at the same time, and then they can both shout them out at once, or they can shout them out at different times. It doesn't matter because the answer will be on screen. That's all we want to get. I can see which one they've gone for. Should we start with the first question, gents? Are you ready?
I think the first one's probably the right one to start with, yeah.
I'm going to start with question 4. No. Let's start with question number 1. Okay. Again, if you're listening, join in. I mean, I don't know if you're joining in, but do so. Anyway, here we go. What is Samus Aran's job title? Again, there's 2 of you, and if you both agree, we can get multiple choice.
I'm quite content.
If you're quite content... Okay,
yeah,
so don't press enter until I say. So when it comes to it, we'll say press enter, and then you'll both say what it is. Okay? Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you've typed it. Okay, here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Bounty Hunter.
Oh, Bounty Hunter! You both got it.
Yay, Bounty
So-
Hunter.
So I was going to try and throw you guys off. So I was going to say Space Cadet, Bounty Hunter, Galactic Officer, or Army Captain. Some of them are quite similar, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Okay, question number 2. The Super FX is a coprocessor on the graphics support unit added to select Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Entertainment. My God, I can't speak. System video game entertainment video game cartridges used primarily to facilitate advanced 2D and 3D graphics. But which SNES game was the first to utilize the Super FX chip? Again,
Okay, I'm ready.
Do you have your answers?
Let me write it. Okay.
Okay. One sec.
Ready?
1
Come
second.
on, Johnny.
Okay. Okay. On the count of 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. What is it?
Star Fox.
It was
Donkey
Star
Kong
Fox.
Country. Damn it.
Yes!
Star Fox.
3D.
It was indeed.
3D.
It was so the Netflix documentary I watched the other day, High Score. They had a whole episode on the Super FX chip, and it was so cool. And they started talking about how they created Star Fox with it because Star Fox they just wouldn't have been able to do Star Fox on the SNES without this chip. And I just find that so cool. They actually put them in the cartridges. Like, it's so mad. But yeah, that was the game. Awesome. Okay, let's go on to question number 3. A lawyer successfully defended Nintendo in court against Universal Studios after a lawsuit was brought against them over the copyrightability of the character Donkey Kong in 1984. That's not the question. That's just some background knowledge. Nintendo immortalized this lawyer by naming one of their most famous characters after him. What is that character's name?
Oh.
So
Okay.
I've watched High Score too. So
Oh,
also,
you think you know this one then? You
I
should
think I
know
know
this.
this one.
Sorry, Dav. I don't think he's going to go for the...
Nah, sorry.
I don't think he's going to go for it.
See, now I know a story about one of their characters, and it can't be them because they weren't a lawyer. So,
or were they? In their spare time.
So then I'm gonna go with.
Make sure you type it. Type your answers down.
Yeah. I'm
Type your
just
answers
filling airtime while I think.
While
Yes.
you Google the answer.
Wow. The 80s were a very interesting time for Nintendo.
Let's go with. I don't know. I don't know. Let's go with
Let me know when you finish typing, and we'll go.
this one. Okay, I've got one.
Okay? You ready? On the count of
Yeah.
3, I'll ask you to press enter.
Go.
You didn't say 3.
Sorry.
You said on the
It's
count of
because-
3. I'll
it's
press enter.
Sorry.
I pressed
It's
a weird thing.
I think Dav pressed it too early, so I was looking at the screen.
Oh,
Dab
right.
does have the answer though. It is Kirby. So his name was John Kirby. And yeah, he was. He basically saved Nintendo from Universal Studios back when Nintendo were a relatively small company.
Incorrectly, might I say. Definitely copyright issues there with King Kong.
Well, this is the thing. Apparently, it was to do with like in Japan. Like, if you watch High Score, it'll explain it. Watch. It's a good watch. So following on from question 3, which Nintendo legend created Kirby?
Now.
Don't press
I'm
enter.
pretty sure 2 people did.
I'm thinking of one very, very specific person. When I checked, this person was credited with creating the character of Kirby. That's specifically what I'm looking for. This one person created the very character of Kirby.
Okay, so I'm going to put the one I think you want, and then in
Okay.
brackets I've put the other person.
Okay. We'll see what it says. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want
Are
you to accept if it's the one in brackets,
Okay.
because
okay.
that's cheating.
I think I know who you're talking about, but I think I know who you're going to mention.
Okay.
Right. On the count of 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Who'd you go?
I got Sakurai and also Iwata.
It was Masahiro Sakurai.
Sakura. Oh.
I think
That's why he's the only one that survives in the Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah, it's exactly the only reason why he survives. But well done, Dav. Well, I should say Daf Gape. Should be more specific. Well done, Dav, for getting it wrong.
But he and Iwata, I believe, both worked on Kirby.
They did, yeah.
So it was also his like way of nodding to Iwata for the new Smash Bros. Game.
It was HAL Laboratory, wasn't it? And that's how Iwata ended up being the president of Nintendo, because he was the president of HAL. I think that, and they worked on it together. I'm going to do a whole thing on Satoru Iwata, because it makes me sad how he's not here anymore. Anyway, question number 5. Retro City Rampage DX plus Shakedown Hawaii were the last games to be released on the Wii. But what year was that? Have a guess, lads. Have a guess. What year do you think was the last Wii game released? Okay, get ready. Daf Weeks, are you ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so on the count of 3, press enter and then say what your answer is, okay? Here we go.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go.
2017.
Both wrong. Do you want to know the answer is?
2016.
It was July 2020.
Oh my god!
Really?
Yeah, Just Dance was released for the Wii last November.
Oh yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's mad. Every time I get because every time it's so shocking, but it's like you still underestimate, because surely not. Surely no. There are
still making.
There are still being games released on the Wii, which is mad.
Retro City Rampage and Shakedown Hawaii both exist.
Before
already.
them. Yeah.
Right.
They were just ported essentially to the Wii, but yeah. Okay, here we go.
Why, though?
So, question number 6. The Dreamcast innovated in many ways, but ultimately failed in part due to a major company refusing to put their games on the system. Name that company.
A major company refusing to put their games on the system on the Dreamcast. So it's
there was a very specific reason for them not. I'm going to give you a hint. It's not Nintendo. So I know you think it's Nintendo. Obviously, it's not Nintendo.
Okay, I think I know who.
Okay, and there is a reason. I'll tell you what it is. Are you both ready?
Kinda.
I'll wait
for
it.
Google.com/Dreamcast.
Okay, you ready? I'll count of 3. Okay, here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Enter.
Square Enix.
Good shout. Not Square Enix. It was EA.
I was going to say EA.
It was
makes more sense.
It was entirely to do with the fact that Sega bought the rights to the 2K games. So 2K were releasing football games on there.
Sports games, yeah.
Sports games, and apparently they were. There's been a big thing about Madden recently because it's so crap. And it's been like review bombed currently, and it's
maddening. One would say.
It was EA, and it was entirely due to the fact that EA basically went to Sega and said, our games are the only sports games coming out, or we're not released. More reasons to hate EA, basically. All right, here we go. Question number 7.
Anymore, yeah.
We needed it as if we needed more. Banjo-Kazooie was a smash hit for Rare, but Banjo's first appearance was as a playable character in another Rare game. What was the game?
Oh God.
If you don't know the answer, I can give you 4.
Oh no, I got it.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
What Rare games are there? I'm trying to make my way through Rare Replay now. Okay,
that's a good question, Johnny. I'm very proud of you for that one. That's a really good question.
Oh, I'm proud of you too.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. This is all I'm good for these days. That I don't work anymore. This is the quizzes. But okay, here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing.
Well Stuff cheated because he didn't press the button.
Yeah. I love Diddy Kong Racing. And it's a shame really because I don't know if we'll ever see a port of that again. I think it got ported to the 2DS or the 3DS. Or maybe it was the Game Boy Advance.
There was a remake of it somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
I don't see us getting another one, I'll be honest.
No. It was a good game though, really good game. I love that game.
Yeah. What they should do is Mortal Kombat, Mario Kart, Mario Kart 9,
Racer?
Mario Kart 9 with a Diddy Kong Racing expansion.
That'd be good.
Would be cool. Never going to happen, but would be cool.
Because basically, Diddy Kong Racing was Crash Team Racing. The whole, you travel around in a car and you go to all the worlds from there. It was very similar to that. Anyway, question number 8. In Mass Effect 2, the end mission can potentially result in the deaths of up to 12 of your companions. But how many needed to survive for your mission to be a success? Do you want a list?
It's just going to be a list of numbers, so I don't see much.
It is going to
point.
be. It is going to be a list of numbers,
Yeah.
but you'll
I'm
whittle it down to
vetoing that
four,
anyway,
four
just
choices.
for-
Okay.
I don't want to hear you
Including-
list 4 different numbers.
So not including yourself. So yourself and 2 companions. I'm just giving the answer away. My God. It was 2 because I'm an idiot. I saw it on the screen. My God, this quiz is going well. I'm retiring from making quizzes because apparently I can't do them.
Give
You
us
know when I
bonus
said I
points.
was proud of you? I take that
Yeah,
back.
you take that back. You take that back. You take that back.
The Lord
Okay.
giveth, and the
The
Lord taketh away.
Take it away. Okay, question number 9. Snoop Dogg remixed a famous rock song, which was then used as the main theme for Need for Speed Underground 2. But what song did he use? Again, I've got options here if you want the options. Unless one of you knows.
I don't know.
Do you both want the options?
Yes, please.
Daf Weeks, do you want the options?
Yeah, let's have it.
Okay, so Snoop Dogg remixed a famous rock song, which was then used as the main theme for Need for Speed Underground 2. The options are Riders on the Storm, Born in the USA, Fast Car, Immigrant Song.
What a bizarre list.
Yep. Riders on the Storm, Born in the USA, Fast Car, Immigrant Song. And these are he used one of these songs for Need for Speed Underground 2.
Okay.
Okay, you got your answer?
Yeah.
Okay, off you go. In count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Immigrant song.
JustEat.co.uk.
What?
Did somebody say just eat? It's a Snoop Dogg thing.
So the answer was
I would have said Born in the USA.
Yeah, the answer was Riders on the Storm.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a really good cover as well. It's a really, really good mix. I was it was actually my first introduction to the Doors, and I never looked back.
What?
Lovely
Via
song.
Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, how crazy!
Oh,
Well, I
wow.
think
Snoop
Okay.
it would
Doors.
well, it would have been Need for Speed Underground 2. I would have been like 14. So like,
Okay.
it's a reasonable time to find out from the Doors. I mean, yeah. Anyway, question number 10. Spyro was voiced by a Hollywood actor in the Legend of Spyro series of games, but name that actor.
Got it.
God.
Got it?
I mean, I might be wrong, but I think
I
know
don't.
it.
I don't think Daf Gape is giving you any help here, Daf Weeks.
No, I'm punting this one. Okay, ready.
Here we go. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Macaulay Culkin.
It was Elijah Wood. Well
Elijah
done,
Wood?
Dav. Yeah, which is a real
Wow.
shame because those games were garbage. But he's quite. He's great. Like, I love Elijah Wood. It would have been great if he was actually in a good Spyro
Spyro?
game. Yeah.
Oh, he did the later ones. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. So he didn't do the original trilogy. He did the second trilogy, which were absolute garbage. Okay. Born to Play was a slogan used for which console?
I remember it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
You got an answer?
Ask me
I
again.
Born to Play was a slogan used for which console?
Okay.
Okay, on the
Ready?
count of 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Xbox.
PlayStation 2.
It was the GameCube.
We got the right generation.
You did get the right generation. You both did.
Oh,
it was the-
right.
it was the GameCube.
Is this... No, because I'm remembering an advert of, like, a woman giving birth and a guy... Like, and then a baby being born and shot through the window. And flew through
That
the
is
air,
Xbox.
grew old,
That is Xbox, yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
landed in the coffin.
I
I'm-
love that advert.
I'm fairly
so much.
so when
And
I saw
thought
it,
was something to do with that.
it was GameCube. Yeah, it was GameCube because I did look at what the Xbox slogan was, but then I was like, I'll use GameCubes because GameCube was a very I don't know. GameCube doesn't get as much love as it should.
It
It
does
should
not
have
get-
anyway. Yeah. Okay. Question number 12. Vivi is a playable character from which Square Enix game?
Are we just throwing
Got it.
easy balls now, are we?
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
FF9.
Final Fantasy
It's
9.
Final Fantasy 9, baby.
Although you could have had a few other games as well.
Yeah. That's the ones from my list. So from the list I had.
Yes.
Okay. Question 13. What year did World of Warcraft get released?
Good question.
You guys ready? You got a date?
No, yeah. Go on.
Just the year. That's all I need. Okay. Here we
Yeah.
go. 3, 2, 1. Tell me what you got.
2002.
Ooh. You're both wrong. It's 2004.
Bang in the middle.
Smack bang in the middle. Okay. Question number 14. What is Link's companion called in Skyward Sword?
Oh, fuck off. Have you played it, Dav?
No.
Good. Okay.
I have options if you want options.
What do you reckon, Dav?
It's not going to help.
Well, it might do, because it might
You've
be...
got a 1 in 4 chance of getting it right.
I think we go for options. Go on.
Let's get options.
Okay. So you might even enjoy this as well. So it's Fey, Fi, Fo, or Fum. It's one of those.
Okay. I was going to say Nav isn't.
Yeah. Fey, Fi, Fo, or Fum.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
On the count of
Faye
3.
seems like a too obvious.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Count of 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Fate.
Foe.
It was Fi.
Ah!
Yeah, it was Fi. Or Fi. However, it's Fi. Okay, and last question. In GTA 4, Roman continually rings Nico asking him to participate in his favorite activity. But what is it?
I've never played it.
I feel like Daf Weeks might have the upper hand.
Oh, shit. I think I know. I might be wrong.
I got a shout.
Well, you've got 4 choices.
No, let's go, because if you say the 4 choices, Dav will know.
Yeah, I think I'll know if I see the 4 choices. So
Don't.
can we have the 4 choices?
Absolutely not. Wait,
Okay.
Jonny, is it? What's the score? Is it close?
I don't want to say how close
Okay.
it is.
All
I
right.
don't want to say how close it is. Okay, do you want to go for the 4 choices, or are you just gonna go
No.
have a guess?
No.
Okay,
No.
here we go. Okay, on the count of 3. By the way, this actually is going to decide who's going to win. On the count of 3. 3, 2, 1.
Bowling.
It was
Oh.
bowling.
No!
Daf Weeks takes it with a 6-5 win.
I can't believe I've won the quiz. That made me so happy. I never win this
Daf
quiz.
has won the quiz. That was Daf Weeks. But to be fair, Daf Gape won
Paul
last week.
has rage quitted.
Dav,
I'm so sorry to our listeners for that.
Dav Gape won last week. I think everyone's won now. I think Zach won the first week. Dav Gape won last week, and Dav Weeks has won this week. So yeah, well done, lads. I really enjoyed that one. Apart from the one
was
that
fun.
I gave away the answer, and I'll live to regret that for the rest of my days. It was two companions. So basically, just going back to that, you have 12 companions, and 2 of them are DLC, I think, and all of them could die. But as long as 2 of them didn't die, you could take your save game data onto the next game. It's so mad how Mass Effect 2 had unlimited endings almost, and Mass Effect 3 was a pile of shit. And on that bombshell, we will end our podcast. This is the end of podcast number 20, I should say. Thank you very much for listening today. If you enjoyed the show, then please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Patreon, all those things, Twitch. Tell your friends and give us a review or a comment. It would mean the world to us. We're all hopefully going to be streaming this week. Usually I say it's just Dav. But Dav is usually our main streamer, but hopefully you'll see some of us poking our heads onto the old Twitch from now on. Thank you very much, gents. It's been an absolute pleasure. This is Video Games Ahoy, and we'll see you next week. Ahoy!
Ahoy!